Hello viewers, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button and share it with your friends. Also, click on the bell icon so that you get the latest information about the videos that are uploaded. Hello students, welcome back to the new video. In this video, we are going to start the chapter number 14, Chemical Effects of Electric Current. In today's session, we will discuss the introduction of the chapter, basic concepts of electric current and conductors and insulators. Students, you are familiar with the term electricity or electric current. Also, you know that many of our home appliances works with the help of electricity. And you know that if there is a power failure for even for a few hours, our life becomes standstill. That means our life becomes almost impossible. So it shows that electricity plays a very important role in our life. So it is very important to study about that concept also. So in this chapter we are going to study about the basic concept of electric current, and today we will discuss about basic concept as well as conductors and insulators. So let us start with the introduction. Electric current. What is electric current? It is the flow of electric charge through a conductor. So what is electric current? It is the flow of electric charge. The continuous path through which charges may flow freely is known as electric circuit. So in the previous classes you have learned that for electricity to flow it needs a path, and that path is known as electric circuit. And what type of path is necessary for the flow of electric current? It must be a closed path. That means the path through which the electric current passes must be closed or complete. Here two circuits are given. So the electric circuit is the path through which electric current flows. Here I have drawn two circuits. In one the bulb is glowing and the other one bulb is not glowing. So let us see what is the reason. Here you can see that the basic things that are needed for making a circuit is a cell. Cell is the source of electricity, and it needs a bulb or any appliance, and it needs a switch, and all these are connected together with the help of connecting wire. So this is a simple electric circuit, and here I have shown the bulb is glowing, but here the bulb is not glowing. Let us see what is the reason. Here you can see that the cell is connected with the switch and it is connected with the bulb, and the other side is connected with the negative terminal of the cell. That means here the circuit is complete. There is no gap or it is not broken. So because of this complete circuit, the current is passing through this closed circuit, and hence the bulb is glowing. So we can say that it is a closed circuit. Now let us see this one. Here the cell is there, it is connected with switch, but here there is a break. That means this circuit is not complete. It is an open circuit. Therefore the current is not flowing through the bulb, and hence it is not glowing. So what we can say about this circuit? It is an open circuit. So we can say that the current flows only through a closed circuit. If it is broken or open, the current does not flow. Now we will discuss the basic concept of electric current. Electric current is the flow of electric charge. Okay. These charges that carry electricity are present in the basic unit of matter, that is atoms. So electric current is the flow of electric charge. And where is this charge is present? In the basic unit of matter, That is called atoms. You are familiar with the term matter. Matter is anything that has mass and occupied space. So we can say that matter is made up of atoms. So atoms are the smallest particles of matter which combine together to form matter. And atoms are further composed of particles called electrons, protons and neutrons. So, which are the three constituent particles of atom? Electrons, protons and neutrons. So, matter is made up of atoms and atoms are further composed of these three particles, electrons, protons and neutrons. Further, protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. And neutrons do not have any charge, so they are called neutral. So, electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged and neutron does not have any charge. Therefore, the total charge of an atom is neutral. So, even though electrons are negative and protons are positive, the total charge of the atom is neutral. Why is it so? The number of electrons and protons are equal in an atom. So, positively charged particles and negatively charged particles are equal in an atom. Therefore, the total charge of an atom is neutral. And where do we find protons and neutrons? Protons and neutrons remain in the nucleus. Further, the electrons move around the nucleus. So, electrons are moving around the nucleus and inside the in the nucleus what is the neutrons and protons. So, this all metallic elements have free electrons in the outermost orbit. So, we can represent the structure of an atom like this. Here it is the nucleus which contains protons plus neutrons and around this the electrons are moving. So, here we can represent electrons like this. So, electrons are moving around the nucleus. So, this metallic elements, you know that all metals are good conductors of electricity. So, these metallic elements have free electrons in their outermost shell. And how do they get this conductivity? Because an electric current is set up when the free electrons move from one atom to another. So, all metallic elements have free electrons in their outermost shell and these free electrons are transferred from one atom to another. At that time, an electric current is set up. That is the reason metals are good conductors of electricity. Now, we will discuss about conductors and insulators. Based on the ability to pass electric current, substances are divided into two categories. They are conductors and insulators. So, based on what the substances are divided? Based on the ability to pass electric current. Substances that allow heat or electricity to pass through them readily are called conductors. Readily means easily. So, the substances that allow the heat or electricity to flow through them very easily are called as conductors. And you know that all metals are conductors. So, metals and some non-metals such as graphite are good conductors of electricity. So, about non-metals in detail you will learn in the higher classes. So, one of the non-metal along with the metals and the non-metals such as graphite are the examples of good conductors of electricity. Next, substances that do not allow the free flow of charges through them are called insulators. So, here free flow of charges means the passage of electricity. So, such substances which do not allow the electricity to pass through them are called insulators. Examples of insulators are dry wood, plastic, rubber, wool, cotton, paper, etc. They do not allow the electric current to pass through them. Now, what are the uses of these insulators? Insulators are used in making the handles of kettles, pressure cookers, electric irons, toaster, etc. This type of equipments or the home appliances have the handles made up of insulator so that we can handle them very easily and comfortably even when the appliance is hot. So we can handle them without burning our hand or without getting the shock. Now let us discuss one activity to study about conductors and insulators. So the aim is to make a tester and to check for conductors and insulators. That is, the arrangement is made to check a given material to see whether it is a conductor or insulator. What are the materials required? One 5-volt cell, insulated copper wires, small bulb, a bulb holder, and small pieces of sample materials like copper, iron, glass, plastic, wood, etc. And this diagram represents the arrangement of the circuit for making this tester. Here we have connected a 5-volt cell with a bulb and the sample material with the help of crocodile clips as shown here. Now let us see the procedure. Set up a circuit with the help of the battery, copper wires and bulb with the bulb holder, and we have to introduce each of the materials that are to be checked or tested one by one in the circuit, and record your observations with respect to whether the bulb glows or not. So what are the materials to be checked? That is to be inserted here using this crocodile clip, and to check whether the bulb is glowing or not. Now let us see the observation. See the material and the bulb glows. Copper, when copper is inserted, the bulb glows. With the glass, the bulb does not glow. With the plastic, the bulb does not glow. With iron, the bulb glows, and with wood, bulb does not glow. So that is the observation. So what we can conclude from this observation? The bulb glows only when copper and iron are connected. So they are conductors. That means when iron and copper are inserted in the circuit becomes complete and the current flows, and hence the bulb glows. But the bulb does not glow when plastic, glass and wood are connected. Therefore, we can say that these materials are insulators. Now, let us see what is the direction of electric current. See, the charges flow from the positive terminal of the source to the negative terminal. Therefore, the direction of current in a circuit is marked from the positive terminal to the negative terminal using arrowheads. So, what is the direction of electric current? From the positive terminal of the electric source to the negative terminal. Therefore, this current is also known as conventional current. So, students, I hope you have understood the topics very well. But still, if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. I will surely try to solve it as early as possible. Here are some review questions. Please solve it in your notebook. Thank you.